Divkovic is back. Is that a boost for you guys?
Yes, is the answer. I think Marco is. I think he's the longest serving player now. He's certainly up there, and I think that's very important. I think it's well documented. We not just brought in players recently, but also in the summer as well. I know I wasn't here, but I think we have to bear that in mind. So it's important that we have players that have been here a while, and guys who've come through masterclass or have come from Superliga, etc. But it's also important that players who maybe have come from abroad, that they stay and show longevity, and Mark was committed to that with his contract. And we're really happy because he's an important player for us, and we know he can play a number of positions, particularly right wing and left back, and does them, in my opinion, equally as well, which shows his importance and versatility. And what I would say is, with Matt's being injured, we now have a left-footed left back to our availability, so that's a good thing. So we're happy that he's back.
Will you use him from start left back on Sunday?
He's definitely in contention. I think that as always, we look at an opponent, we look at ourselves, we look at a game plan, and then we decide the team that we think can best carry out the game plan. Having Marco available is a good thing, and he's trained well. We've tried to give him as much match time as possible through the pre-season games, but also we've played some friendly games here as well, and he looks in good shape physically, so he's giving himself the best chance of being ready, and we'll make a final decision.
He will be involved?
Yeah, definitely involved, yeah, 100%.
4 games without a victory.
Yeah.
What should you change on Sunday?
Well, we always want to be winning games. I know it's a bit strange because you have the break between the 4 games, if you like. We've only played one back, and a lot has happened. But in the end, it's the same season, and we're playing the same league campaign. But we're only looking forward. We're only thinking positively about what we can become. And what we want to become is a real consistent competitive team that can really compete at the top end, and that's the aim. So to do that, you have to take it day by day, you have to take it game by game, and the next game is always the most important one. We'll go into the game with ambition and with good intention, hoping that we can put in a good performance and get the result that we want.
But you have only one victory in the last 4 games in Viborg.
All right, okay. So it shows that it's going to be a tough game. I learned quickly that none of these games are ever easy, and nor should they be in a top league in a country. So I've spoken quite openly about the league being very competitive and challenging in different ways at different teams. And Viborg players, I just said to your colleague there, playing a real clear way, real clear identity, one that I know that has been in place over a number of years now, and we have to go there and respect it, of course, and be clear about what it looks like when it goes well, but with the ambition that we can take our game to them and try and become as dominant as we can.
No injured Köhler and Bundgaard is only 2.
Yes, Valleys is still a little bit on modified training. We obviously played some minutes last week and has been able to train at times this week.
But not really to start.
We'll see. Inconclusive at the moment, still a couple of days. But it's more positive than what it was last week with him, that's for sure, in terms of his availability.
Well, what do you think of him position-wise? Like he came in central against Randers?
I liked him last week, to be fair. I liked him in the game. He started off... we never ask him whether it can look like on paper that he's playing wide or central. We never ask him too much to be fixed in a position, because I don't think that suits him. He's one of these players that he is very much a team player, but I do think he needs a free mind to play, because I think that's how he can be at his most creative. But I liked him last week when he came on, both wide, and then he went to the middle, and he looked like the senior player that we want him to be. There's no doubt about that. So hopefully he's feeling good about himself, and if and when called upon on Sunday, that he's able to not just be at that level, but even more. And it's it's a pity he didn't score the goal, of course, but at the same time, it's good that he was getting in them positions and he was looking like, the creative player that he is, because that's what we want him to be, and he's got license to be that as well.
A question about Premier League. You have tried to be fired, and we've seen this.
I didn't try to be fired.
No, but we have seen that.
Try not to be.
Thomas Frank and Sean Dice were fired this week. What do you think about what happened in Premier League?
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's okay to decisions made this week. It's never nice to see managers losing the job, and I know them both personally. Through obviously spending time coaching against them and a little bit off the pitches as well. So yeah, what I would say is two excellent managers, two very promising careers. Good careers that they've had, and I have no doubt that if and when they're ready to return, that they will once again be given good jobs, and will do good jobs as well. And unfortunately, as I know, losing jobs can be part of the career, but it can also make you stronger and better as well. And I'm wish them both well. It's never nice to see, and I hope that when they decide to come back, that they're ready and they're happy with the new venture.
Where you know Thomas Frank from?
From competing against him in Championship mainly. When I was at Swansea, we had a. I wouldn't say a rivalry, but we played them in both going for promotion, if you like, and then we got them twice in the playoffs, and he got the better of us. Particularly at the playoff final, when they got promoted to the Premier League, and deservedly so. They were good for it, not just in the final, but of the whole season. And then obviously Premier League as well. We got to know each other. And when I came here, I called him.
Called him?
Yeah, called him. Yeah, I had a lengthy conversation with
Before
him.
You came here?
No, the week it happened very quickly when I came here. So I called him, and we had a good hour on the phone. Not just chatted about Bromby, chatted about a lot of things, but we did chat a lot about Bromby, and it was some good information that he gave me. I know it'd been a little while since he was here, but with him being Danish, and it was just a nice conversation to have, and a helpful one. And like I said, we've competed against each other, but there's also a lot of respect between us both as well.
But what did he tell you?
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for him to ask me. No, positive, obviously, and the first thing anyone says that I called regarding the club was just about the fans, and I'm pretty sure that was the first thing he said. I spoke to Mads as well, and he said the same. So yeah, just try. When you come to a club, you just want to try and get as much information as you can, and you think about people that have been here before, and you call them, and people will ring me as well at clubs that I've been at, and it's just a normal thing to do. But
why did you not call Thomas before you came?
Because it happened within days. Yeah, it happened within days. Yeah.
Another topic, Michael Vojodic said in an interview yesterday that he can see himself continue permanently at Augsburg. Do you also think that would be a suitable solution for both parts?
I'm not sure, to be honest. What I do know is me and Michael actually missed each other last week. We tried to contact each other, but wishing him well. Good guy, and obviously he's gone back to a club that he knows well, and he's scored a couple of goals recently, and he's got the World Cup to prepare and look forward to, and whatever the future holds for him, I hope it's a positive one.
But he also said that he not feel that he get the real chance in Brøndby.
I think that we were very clear, and we had a good relationship about how things looked, and there was a common understanding between both, and only respect in how our communications went. So decisions were made that we were all part of, and like I said, it's important that what he does and we do, that we wish each other well, and whatever that looks like, let's hope it goes well. But we're only looking forward now.
But did you see he has a future in Brøndby?
I don't think that's something to think about. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, by the way. But at the moment, we're in this season, we're focusing on the players that we have here. Of course, Brøndby is his parent club, and that is something that we will have to look at in the summer. Let's hope he has a positive period. Let's hope we have a positive period, and it's something that we need to pick up in the summer.
Another player that is only here until summer for now, at least, is Ben Godfrey. Can you tell a bit about your relation to him from the Premier League and the English?
No, nothing. No, I didn't know. First time I met him was when there was an interest of him coming here. Obviously, I competed against him. I know people that have worked with him, coached him, or etc., but never personally met him until recently. So. But it's good to see how he's settled in. It's good to see the relationship he's building with his teammates, with the staff. It was good to see, his first performance here. And although he's not 100% match fit because he shouldn't be, it was good to see how you saw the competitor and the winner that he is. And you can see that he has great leadership qualities. And let's hope we can best utilise that with everybody else in the period that he's with us.
But it's realistic that he can stay longer than summer.
Is it realistic or unrealistic? Again, it's like the Michael question. I think that's something we have to pick up in the summer. First and foremost, he has to play well. He has to train well. He has to earn the right to have a spot in the team. He has to honour that, like everybody else. I really like how him and the new players have really tried to understand what the club is and what it stands for. And I think Ben does, and I think you have to. So I think it's about the here and now, and I think it's about the next game or the next training session, and let's hope he competes well enough and then performs well enough that them conversations are apparent at the end of the season. But that's something that's on him, and he has to earn that sort of them questions, if you like.
Did you see him as a leader the next month at the team?
He's definitely a leader now in the group. Yeah, he's. I mean, like I said, when there was a chance of him coming, you try and speak to people that know him and know him well, and it was pretty clear that he's a winner, he's a competitor, and now having had, was it now 2-3 weeks working with him, probably not there, but 3 weeks. You can see that every day is important to him, and not just him. He doesn't stand alone on that. He's we want it to be a real competitive training environment every day, and I think that's something that we're growing and improving on. Every day matters, because it can't just be that you turn up on a match day, because if you haven't trained properly, you haven't competed every day in training, then you find that you can't compete at the level on a match day. So he's good at that, but he's not on his own. But if we're talking about him, he does that well, and hopefully now with 90 minutes under his belt, another week's training under the belt, he can be getting closer to match fitness. There's still quite a lot of the guys not 100% match ready, but I hope to get him there is through good training and good game time.
Who was not match ready?
Well, I think it's been pretty clear that Ambæk's had a frustrating pre-season with his hand injury, non-contact. Dennis obviously came in late after work permit, etc. Ben was another one. Michael Lado came in pretty late, so we're building that. Even there are no excuses these, by the way, but I'm only telling you how it is. Even Alves missed quite a bit of early on of pre-season, so but that's fine. You'll speak to any manager in the league and they'll tell you similar stories. So, this is where we're at. But we've had another week's training and another week's growing, and hopefully we can certainly perform better in general than what we did last week, even though. Their games we want to be winning and we want to be playing better than we did last week. I also see the potential now in the team once we get the consistency, once we get the cohesion, and that's for me is the exciting bit, that we try and put a consistent team together that can stay together for a while. Like I said, a lot of players in the summer, a lot of players in the winter. Let's hope now we can keep a lot of that, build something positive, and when you build something positive, you can grow into something really competitive. And I'm looking forward to going through that process with the guys.
A big decision might wait for you next round, maybe not this round, when Patrick is back in goal. How do you see the competition between those two?
Well, let's like you said in the question, that's the next round. Let's concentrate on this round, and Gavin's over there, and William and Thomas training good, and just prepare all the guys ready for the next game. And it's not even in my mind at the moment, but I guess that'll be the questions next week.
What do you see in Gavin Beavers?
I see first and foremost a really hard-working, positive. I'm looking at him. That's why I'm looking over there. Guy who gives everything every day. He's a young goalkeeper. Looks a little bit older than what he actually is, and giving himself the best opportunity to be at his best, and that's what you want. You know, we have young guys in the squad, whether it's Gavin, Ambæk, Vigo now has really stepped up into the group. You know, and all you can do with these guys is give them opportunities, but all they have to do is first and foremost work hard to get an opportunity, and when they give them one, do their best to take it. So, sometimes with the goalkeeper we treat them a little bit differently because there's a goalkeeper and it's a specialist position, but in the end they're just young players wanting to take opportunities, and you know, that's Gavin has an opportunity now, so you know, hopefully he can take him for the team and himself as well.
But it's correct that Patrick Pence is your first choice.
Not this weekend, no, he's not available, so
I know that.
Well, we'll talk about that next week. Let's prepare for this week, and we've got Gavin, William and Thomas really competing, and I respect that, you know. That's all where my focus is on now.
What are your thoughts as a coach with many new players, like picking the same lineup to get some automatisms together, but you also had some good subs on Sunday. So what is the balance in that?
Well, first and foremost, it's good that I think that having it answers that question in a number of ways. We're having more strength and depth now makes training more competitive, and one, that the level of training can be even higher. Two, players can compete against each other in a positive way, which I like. Which then come to a match day, once you make decisions, gives you players that have earned the right to play, because there's not one player in the squad that is guaranteed to play every single minute of every game. So when they're given that shirt, they know that they've earned it, whether it's through the training, whether it's through previous performances. But then it also, because of that strength and depth, gives us a real strong bench. And I think the changes that we were able to make on the weekend, last weekend, showed now we have that possibility. I can be honest, selection and minutes last week were a little bit determined by physical conditions of players. And it won't always be like that, because the more time we spend together, the more players will be 90-minute match ready. But I like the fact now that although I'm going to have upset people every week, that's part of being a footballer, part of definitely being part of a football coach, that we have good options to start and equally good options to finish games if we need to make changes, and that's what I want. But then you're also asking the question about, we have to build a consistency and regular lineups. We see our competitors, they have that, you know. You
know how AGF is going to line up before.
Yeah, exactly. And I know the guys in Europe play a lot more games, so there might be some natural changes there, but you more or less know. You know, you look at, we play Viborg on the weekend, and they have a clear identity, and we want to try and become that. That's why we're making these changes, if you like. You know, it's for, we know we're Bromby and we need to be competitive. We need to your questions. We need to be winning games. You know, aim at winning games every single game. But we also want to get to a point where we have a collective that's built on time together and connections and things like that. And if we have to suffer a little bit when we get there, I can handle that. Because I know we'll go in the right direction, but when we do get it, it gives us the best chance of being the team that we really want to be, mid to long term, while winning along the way, which I know is very important as well.
You're 11 points behind AGF. Are you looking up or are you looking down?
Oh, we're Bromby. We always have to look up, but respect every opponent that we play. Like I said, I've said it from day one. We aim to win every single game that we go in because of who we are, but we also know that we're in a period that we want to try and create and build something that can really be sustainable to compete regular, you know, and that's what we want to do. So guys are working really hard. They are pushing each other, we're pushing them, and when we win together, you know, it'll be very much collective. When we lose together, equally we'll stick together. and give ourselves the best chance of being who we really want to be. A team that the supporters can be proud of, that can connect with, and we want to be a team worthy of their support as well, and that's the aim.
Do you have many?
How is
new
it?
players, Stephen?
How is it?
You have many new players. How long will it take? 1 month, 2 months before we see the real level of?
Yeah, I mean, I was asked straight after the game last week, and it's the burning question, really, I don't think there's a science to giving it, whether it's the time that you just said. It could be earlier, it could be longer, who knows. But what I do know is we're aiming to be as quick as we can. We are very consistent in how we work, really believe in our training methodology, the cultures that we work in, our playing methodology, and we'll stick to it, and we work on it every single day. And game days are obviously really important, but we need to make sure training days are really important as well, whether it's on the pitch, whether it's off the pitch. And then when you do that, and you keep everybody together, and we hope we have a bit of luck with player availability and injuries, suspensions, etc., that we can become a real strong collective. Again, a lot of new players recently, not a lot of new players in the summer, but we have to look forward now and really try and become a team.
I saw some pictures on social media this week that you were on Saturday at the fan tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you go there, and what kind of experience was it?
Well, it was warmer, definitely, than being outside. But yeah, no, I got news that there was a fan tournament, and I just thought, me and Kevin walked over and thought it's important that we show or visible at these things, and we don't like really I don't believe in hierarchy at the club. I think everybody's the same, and we're all together, and I know the club is built on family and togetherness as well, and it was just good to go and meet so many supporters and see some of them play, which I won't comment too much on, but yeah, so I to be fair, everywhere I go I bump into a Bromby fan, but obviously that was a little bit different, and there's so much love for the club and support for the team. So I also like it personally because it's a constant reminder of how important this club is to everybody, and that makes me really motivated and paranoid really about doing the best job possible here and working hard, and I want to be the guy that leads through the good and the bad as a head coach, and it's just seeing things like that makes it even more powerful. So the more we can do in the community, we will. Time's obviously of the essence a lot of the time, scheduling, etc. But the more of this we get to understand goes on, we'll try and be as part of it, even if it was just for 30 minutes.
Next year,
the transfer window.
Next year you play maybe?
No, maybe ref a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, guys.
Nå, hvordan går det med holden?
Det går for meget fint. Det går fremad. Så det er det vigtigste.
Hvad har den her skade betydet for din preseason?
Jo, men det er jo lidt en anderledes preseason, end jeg havde været vant til. Men nu lidt færre kampe. Så jeg også kunne mærke, at jeg skal lige i gang igen.
Du har ikke været bekymret for, at der skulle ske et eller andet? Altså, du har ikke lige tænkt på det, når...
Jo, altså nej, det er selvfølgelig lidt svært, når man nu brækker en finger, fordi der er jo den her risiko for, at jeg kan lande ned, og den kan blive lagt igen. Så selvfølgelig er der altid lidt en bagtanke, men jeg prøver så vidt muligt at være med at tænke på det, fordi det ved jeg, det kan påvirke lidt ens spil, hvis man tænker for meget over det, og sådan noget, man passer på, så man er nødt til at være med det.
Du har fået nogle nye legekammerater op foran, blandt andet Emmanuel Dennis, som har et stort navn og spiller Premier League. Så hvordan har han været at få ind i truppen, og er en du kan lære noget af?
Ja, meget. Han har været god at få ind. Som synes, han har været nogle store steder. Så man kan også lære meget af ham. Så hvis der er noget, jeg er i tvivl om, eller noget, jeg har brug for at spørge om, så kan jeg også bare sagtens komme til ham. Han kommer også til mig nogle gange og snakker med mig. Så det synes jeg også er rigtig fedt. Så jeg tror helt klart, at jeg kan bruge ham til en masse.
Jeg kan prøve at sætte lidt ord på det der med, altså i slutningen af sidste sæson, der var det meget få minutter, du havde spillet for Brøndbys første hold. Nu er det gået lidt over et halvt år, og nu er du første angriber i Brøndby. Altså, den der tiltro, du har fået, fra det nye trænerteam?
Jo, det er klart. De har vist mig en masse tidligere, og vist, at de tror på mig, og de tror på de kvaliteter, de evner, jeg har, kan være de bedste for holdet. Men selvfølgelig så kræver det også, at jeg viser det, og jeg præsterer, og jeg arbejder hårdt på træningsbanen for også at gøre mig fortjent til det, så det er der også meget i. Så det skal jeg bare fortsætte med at gøre.
Hvordan føler du dig pres på dig nu?
Yes. Når man spiller i en klub som Brøndby, som er en stor klub, så vil der vil altid være pres på. Så det er noget, man er nødt til at finde sig i. Så selvfølgelig kan man godt mærke, at der er pres, men det føler, at jeg tænker ikke for meget over det. Jeg har bare mest fokus på, at jeg bare skal præstere så godt som muligt og hjælpe holdet. Og så må vi se, hvad det bliver til så.
Og hvor langt igen er der, for at du kan spille 90 minutter?
Jeg håber, at det kan være næste kamp. Altså det er ikke til at vide, det er mest de fysiske træner, der har styr på mig. For hvor meget jeg kan holde til, men jeg håber bare, at det kan blive hurtigst muligt.
Ja.
En, der står i de sko, som du gjorde i for ikke så lang tid siden, det er Viggo Poulsen, der også er ved at få sit store gennembrud. Kan du give ham nogle tips og tricks til, hvordan man lige håndterer det hele, når det går lidt stærkt?
Ja, altså nu har jeg kendt Viggo i meget lang tid og spillet på hold med mig i lang tid, og vi er rigtig gode venner også, så jo, men jeg ved også, at han kan sagtens klare det, og det har han jo også vist, at han kan. Så jeg selvfølgelig, så hvis han er i tvivl om noget, og han spørger mig noget, så siger jeg det, som jeg måske ved og har oplevet, men han klarer det rigtig godt, og jeg er sikker på, at vi alle nok skal se mere til ham.
Hvad er det vigtigste at huske på, når man lige går fra at være U19-spiller i Brøndby til lige pludselig at spille på den store scene? Hvad er det vigtigste at huske på?
Jeg vil nok sige, at det er meget vigtigt at holde begge ben på jorden, fordi at det kan gå stærkt lige pludselig. Lige pludselig så er der meget omtale og alt muligt andet, så det skal bare ikke påvirke ham alt for meget. Så jeg skal bare fortsætte med at præstere og arbejde hårdt, som han også gør lige nu. Så, og det er okay der, så det er slet ikke tvivl om, at han nok skal komme til.
Hvordan havde du selv i den periode, hvor alle lige pludselig snakker om en?
Det er meget overvældende. Det er det. Og det er jo også nogle ting, som jeg kan snakke med mig, fordi at det er meget anderledes, når man kommer fra U19 og så pludselig op i Superligaen. Så der er meget forskel. Så jeg håber helt klart, at jeg kan måske hjælpe ham på nogle punkter.
Er der noget, du selv ville have gjort anderledes, som du har sagt til ham, måske helt lige tjekke til efter kampen?
Jeg prøver så vidt muligt at lade være med at læse det. Det er der mange, der siger, man ikke skal. Men altså, nogle gange så kan man jo ikke. Altså, så kommer det jo bare frem på ens telefon, og så kan man ikke rigtig undgå det. Men så vidt muligt, så prøver jeg at holde mig væk fra det, fordi at, det gør jeg bare.
Ja, med det sidste halve år, du har haft, den vilde udvikling, der har været, hvad er så sådan de næste personlige mål for det halve år, der kommer nu?
Vi vil selvfølgelig, personligt i hvert fald, så vil jeg rigtig gerne være fast angriber og spille hele tiden og spille så meget som muligt. Så vil jeg gerne også score mål kontinuerligt. Det tror jeg måske, at det jeg gerne vil opnå de der halve sæson.
Og hvad generelt med Brøndby? Hvad er sådan...
Alle ved jo, at vi har jo klare ambitioner om, at vi selvfølgelig vil spille med i toppen og præstere så godt som muligt og vinde kampe foran alle vores fans. Så det er helt klart noget af det, vi også vil gå efter.
Hvad er realistisk, når I 11 point efter AGF? Altså, hvad er realistisk, når...
Det synes jeg, det er meget tidligt at sige. Altså, vi skal bare i hvert fald fokusere på os selv og blive bedre, og så må vi jo se, hvor det vil hen.
Hvor er det, du skal blive bedre? Altså, du er selvfølgelig ikke færdigudviklet endnu, men hvor er det, du ser, at du skal blive bedre for at blive endnu dygtigere?
Jeg mangler en del, synes jeg. Man kan godt mærke, at det er nogle store drenge, man spiller overfor, så der er helt klart selvfølgelig noget på det fysiske. Så ja, jeg tror, jeg vil nok sige, ryggen til mål og noget duelspil, det tror jeg, det kunne jeg godt blive lidt bedre til, men det håber jeg også bare på, at det kommer med tiden.
Har du taget noget på, at du siger det fysiske i forhold til dueller og sådan noget? Har du brugt meget tid i styrketræningslokalet?
Ja, der er meget snak med de fysiske træner om, hvordan jeg bliver klar på bedst mulig måde, så det er vi i snak om, hvis man kan sige det sådan.
Har du taget på muskler, siden du er kommet herop og spiller Superliga?
Ja, det har jeg. Jeg tror, jeg har taget en lille smule på. Nu har jeg ikke helt styr på de præcise tal, det har de styr på. Men ja, jeg vokser jo nok også stadig, tror jeg. Så ja, nu vil vi se, om det bliver til mere. Men jeg vil ikke, altså, jeg vil ikke kende mig selv som den her store boksen. Jeg vil også gerne stadig have noget af min bevægelse og noget fart, som noget af det, som jeg også skal bidrage med at tro lidt på noget bagrum for eksempel.
Hvordan tænker man, at du kommer ind og overtager pladsen for en, der var købt østrigs landsholdsspiller, som så ender på bænken? Altså jeg ved godt, det er vilkårene af, hvad træneren vælger. Hvad tænker man, sådan, når man reflekterer over det i sådan en situation?
Jo, selvfølgelig så kan man godt tænke lidt over, at han har et stort navn, og han er en skidegod person. Han har også hjulpet mig rigtig meget. Men jeg skal bare fokusere mest på mig selv, og når jeg får chancen, så kræver det, at jeg griber den og præsterer så godt som muligt. Så det er nok det, jeg fokuserer mest på, når det er.
Tak for det.
Gavin, so you got the first game against Randers. There was a long time since the Nordsjælland game. So how has this period been for you between the games?
You know, I think it obviously has been a bit of time, away from playing here. But I thought overall, it was a great experience just to be back out there, especially in front of the home fans, and to get another clean sheet, is always nice. But I think, the time in between, definitely has been a bit of a challenge, but I think just continuing to train hard and, do everything I can on the field during the week, to continue to just improve. And when the time's right for my name to get called for me to be in the 11th, then, that's what it may be, and I'm just ready for that.
How was the preseason when both you and Thomas and William, you knew that there was going to be 2 games where it's going to be one of you? Yeah. I think it was competitive, right? At the end of the day, we all know we're here to compete every day, even past these first 2 games. So I think obviously a good dynamic between the group. I think we all have a good relationship with each other, and we managed it well. Just still making sure each other gets what we need. But I thought it was overall, enjoyable and a good experience. Just I think for me too, I haven't been in that spot, to compete like that, knowing that there's so much time in between, before 2 first games. So it was good.
How do you see the competition between you guys, and also Patrick, who is back from his suspension after this game?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day we have a really good group that goes out and trains hard every day, right? And at the end of the day, it's not our decision really to go out there, and there's only one spot on the field, every game day. So I think at the end of the day, it comes to Coops and the coaching staff, but I think we do a good job of just competing every day, and helping each other out, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do, right?
How would you feel if he chooses Patrick when he's back from his suspension?
Yeah, obviously, I want to play every game that I can, but I'll still be able, supporting everybody, and at the end of the day, we want to win games, and if that's the Coops thinks, then that's totally fair.
You said you had to be ready when your name was called up. Are you satisfied with that, not getting that many minutes?
Yeah, I think I'm never, you're never satisfied with not getting as many minutes, especially training hard during the week. But I think at the end of the day, you can only, keep looking forward and looking towards the next week. And I think that's just what I've been trying to do, the best. Obviously, it can get disappointing at times, but there's no need to hang the head, and just keep going and keep pushing.
You haven't been looking to go to another club or?
No, obviously playing time is important, right? I think being a 20-year-old goalkeeper, and first really just year in Europe, is always tough not to be playing, as much as I'd like, but I think we've done a good job of just continuing to grow and, learning as much as I can during the sessions. So I think that's been, almost my training game days has been that, so.
There was a rumor in January that was it New York Red Bulls, I think, wanted you, but the club said no. Was it anything you heard about?
Yeah, no, I obviously I'd heard about it, but at the end of the day too, I wanted to stay here, and obviously it was a good opportunity to maybe go and get some minutes. Obviously, Patrick getting the red card, it kind of threw everything up in the air, I think, for everybody. But I was super excited to come back and, stay here. And of course, this is where I want to play and be in front of the fans here.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything close to happening?
No. And it didn't really come down to me, at the end of the day. But I'm happy to be back, obviously, and continue to play and grow here.
How was it at the Randers game? Because there's also many new players in the team, so it's not you getting into a team with well-known dynamics. It was all new. So how was that?
Yeah, I think it was a good start. At the end of the day, obviously we like to get 3 points, whenever we can. But I think defensively, we worked well together. Having Ben in front of me, which I haven't played with him before, and Binks and the whole group, I really haven't, got a ton of minutes with, but it was great. I think we just continue to build, and and there's a lot of new guys everywhere, even on the bench and coming into the game that helped, so I think it's a good dynamic, to be all competitive and everybody has to compete, for their spot. So I think it's great.
Stein Spearings just transferred to your former club. Did you get to talk to him before he made the move?
Yeah, no, he had asked me, what I thought of Salt Lake, and then, seeing him in Portugal when he was there,
He was at the same hotel with you.
Yeah, it was so funny, seeing him in Salt Lake gear, was like, really threw me for a loop, but, he's a great dude, and I think he's going to kill it there, so it's awesome.
How does he fit into that club? I know.
Yeah. Obviously I haven't been there for a year now, and there's been a lot of changes. But Stein's obviously a very good footballer, and I think that he'll do really well, within the league and in the team. And it's a great club, at the end of the day in the MLS, and a great place to live. So I hope he enjoys it.
How was it staying at the same hotel as your former teammates?
Yeah, no, it was definitely nice, to see a couple faces that I haven't seen in a really long time, and see my old goalkeeper coach that's still there. I was with them since I was 14. So it's always nice to be able to catch up with them, because when I go back home, I'm in Las Vegas. So I'm not even in Salt Lake. So it's always good. I never have enough time to get up there. So I enjoyed it.
This is maybe kind of a different question, but answer it if you like.
Yeah.
How has it been to be an American in Denmark in like the whole Trump Greenland period?
To be honest with you, I don't even watch the news here. Like it's so I don't understand it, really. And two, like with the time change, like there's so many new things going on at all times, that I almost like to just keep myself out of it,
It's not something you talk about in the dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, of course they'll ask me something, and they probably know more than I do, just because I don't really look up on it too much, and or worry about it too much. But obviously, there's a lot going on within the world everywhere. And, that's just what happens sometimes.
So, okay.
As you said, you were really convinced that you were going to stay here. Was it about Brøndby that makes you?
Yeah, I think just Sunday, just being able to go out there and seeing all the fans, and just having the environment that I can continue to grow and improve. And I love living here, and now my wife's here with me, so we really love it here. And I think it's really enjoyable. And we have a great team and great staff, and it's really good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
How did you see your first time in Brøndby?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really easy to settle in. The boys have made me feel welcome, as of the fans. It was a good experience to play the game. Obviously disappointed we didn't get all 3 points, but as a defender, the clean sheet it's always nice. I've enjoyed my time so far.
Did anything surprise you with the league? You played in Premier League and different leagues?
No, I think I showed the league respect before I arrived anyway. I knew that there's good players in the league, so I knew what they were capable of. So there's always been respect from that side. The atmosphere in this league seems to be unbelievable. So looking forward to playing many more games.
What's different when you play here contra in Premier League, for example?
In terms of
the tactical dispositions, the physical?
Probably in the Premier League, the speed of the game is very high. The physical demands are different, but that's normal. There's all sorts of differences between every league in the world, from Italy, England, over here. But as I said, there's plenty of good players, and there'll be some good tests for me.
You have not played so much. How far is you from your best level?
Yeah, I don't think, hopefully the more minutes I get, the closer I'll get to being fully fit. Like the other day, there was still some rustiness there, but it was important that I got sort of that out of the system and got on the pitch. As I said, I enjoyed every single second of that. So, the more I get on the pitch and work hard on the training pitch with the boys, the fitter and stronger I'll get.
What does it mean to you that you get playing minutes like from the start? When it's a short loan, so how important is it to get off to running? Yeah,
it's been really important for me. I was lucky, to be fair, that I got a couple minutes in Portugal, which were tough because they were obviously the first minutes. But the quicker I can get playing regularly is it's a lot better for me. As I said, the quicker then that I'll reach my true physical condition, and then from there I can put in consistent good performances.
But also it seems like you contribute with a lot of leadership on the pitch. Is that also one of your qualities, as you see it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I've been fortunate enough in my career to experience a lot of things, for good and for bad. So I think that I can help the help the boys in that situation. Especially, we've got some young players, so I can help them, when during games and things that in certain circumstances, every game's different, and they might not have seen things before. Whereas at 28 years old, I think I've been through fairly, much every experience on a football pitch. So yeah, I would see myself as a leader for sure.
How much did you know about Danish football before entering here?
I said this in earlier interviews that my former teammate Timmy Pukki, I remember him talking about Brøndby years ago. So obviously I knew about this club. The other clubs obviously not so much, just from my own research and watching games. But yeah, Brøndby I heard about from all the way back then with Timu, and he told me quite a lot of good things. So.
And how was it to enter here on Sunday? Yeah,
unbelievable. The atmosphere is, in our stadium is incredible. I had my family here; they absolutely loved it as well. So. Yeah, I think it's important the fans realise that they can be our 12th man. I think they're going to carry us through a lot of difficult periods during the back end of this season and help us. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and looking forward to it.
So what is your analysis of Viborg?
Look, they play good football. They're a good footballing team. Obviously, you can say they're in a decent position in the league. It's going to be one of our competitors. But I think ultimately, if we turn up and play how we know we can and what we've been working on, then I can't see why we can't get 3 points. And that's our main focus. And the boys have been working hard to do that, and hopefully we can.
How much did you speak with Timo Pukki about Brøndby?
Yeah, a little bit. We're talking maybe 7 years ago.
So not now?
No, not now. I just remember him mentioning it when he first came to Norwich.
Yes.
Where he was talking about where he'd been, where he'd played and things like that.
Yes. So you're not calling him now to talk?
No, we don't speak so much now, but just back in the Norwich days, yeah. So obviously he had good memories here and he told me about it.
You've played with some big talents before. You were a big talent yourself. How do you see the talent here in Brøndby? There's Ambæk and Viggo Poulsen, who recently just came to the first team.
Yeah, as I said, we've got plenty of young players, exciting players. The club seems to do a really good job at bringing young talented footballers through, which is it's a credit to everyone involved. But yeah, we've got exciting players who. They can play a massive part in our squad for the back end of the season. The manager's shown that he trusts them, and as players we trust them as well. And I don't think age really matters in those sort of circumstances. If you're playing, you're ready, and yeah, these boys are capable of taking part and helping us push on.
Are you here for 6 months or are you here for a longer time?
Who knows? I don't think you can say. I think 6 months in football is a very long time. I said from the beginning, my focus now is just playing consistently well, trying to help the boys, to help the club. Hopefully finish the season strongly, and then in the summer, who knows what happens.
How is it having a fellow Englishman in the central defence? Does it help with the communication when it's you and Louis in there?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's nice. We're tight. We speak. We spend time together every day. In training, obviously getting to know him, getting to know what decisions he makes on the ball, without the ball, and things like that. Obviously experienced our first game together, which was nice. Hopefully we can build something strong.
You have been struggling a bit to create enough goal chances, and also was the case on Sunday. What is it that you need to create more offensively?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it can be a confidence thing as well. I think I'm speaking as a defender. It's obviously hard to comment on too much, but I can feel as though all it takes is one game where one goes in, and I think the floodgates will open. Yeah. I think we'll score plenty of goals. I've seen the ability that the attacking players have got on the training pitch, and they're more than capable of creating those chances, and I'm confident enough that soon enough it'll happen.
But we also saw on Sunday combinations at the box.
Yeah,
we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, I don't see why not. My job's to defend first, but if I can join in, then why not?